All right, you guys. So this is a topic like I didn't even think that we would be covering in 2024. I didn't have this on my 2024 bingo list. Most of the time when I speak about Sony, it's usually about the gaming side of things and how Sony is acquiring game studios and stuff like that. Well, today we're going to be talking about a rumor that it actually really surprised me when it comes to Sony, and it's an acquisition of a movie studio. So let's talk about it. So today, Sony supposedly, right, has put in potentially buying Paramount, which kind of surprises me because I thought Paramount was doing all right. I guess Paramount is not doing all right. Sony is said to be looking to acquire one of Hollywood's biggest media conglomerates, and it could affect Halo. Why? Because Halo is owned by Microsoft, right? Sony may acquire Paramount, potentially impacting the Halo TV series, which airs on Paramount Plus. By the way, I think the first season was actually on Showtime and not just on Paramount Plus. You could watch it on Paramount Plus. The Halo TV series premiered on Paramount Plus in 2022, creating a new storyline that divided longtime fans. Let me tell you, the first season of Halo, it's dog water. It's really not that good. Like, truth be told, the second season was much better by a long shot, but it's still not the Halo that we deserve and that we want. Sony's potential acquisition of Paramount could also affect Sonic the Hedgehog series and other adaptations, which this is things I've never even thought about. Sony might be looking to acquire a fellow media juggernaut, Paramount, and this could affect the Halo live action TV series. Halo isn't typically associated with Sony due to the former being the flagship property of Microsoft, like I said, owned by Microsoft. Xbox gaming brand, and latter being the parent company for Xbox's primary rival, PlayStation. So such a development would certainly be a twist, which it would not surprise me because they keep talking about how console exclusives are going, they're dead. For the past 2 decades, Halo has been one of the gaming's most seminal FPS franchises. Oh my god. Spawning not only 6 mainline entries, but an assortment of spin off games and tie in media. This would eventually lead to a live action Halo TV series, which finally premiered on Paramount Plus in early 2022 after a long time difficult production cycle featuring Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief Officer John 117. The series took place in an alternate timeline from the Halo games and explores Chief's role in growing war between the United Nations Space Command, UNSC, and the Covenant. Longtime Halo fans were divided over the show's different take on the Halo series, but the second season was released on Paramount Plus earlier this year, which I will admit, the second season, that's the crazy part. Like when the first season of Halo came out, it was everywhere. Paramount, 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 Paramount. Watch Halo, watch Halo. And the second season didn't really get much publicity as much as the first season because the first season was so bad. A third Halo season hasn't been greenlit yet, but there could be a major change up in its parent company by the time it is. The New York Times recently reported that Sony Picture Entertainment and its investment firm called the Apollo Global Management are currently in talks to form a joint bid to acquire Paramount Pictures. And it really makes me wonder why Paramount has gotten into this big of a hole, right? Where they're looking to be acquired by a different company. At least according to a pair of sources familiar with the situation previously, Apollo attempted to purchase Paramount by itself for at least $26 billion with the offer rejected. $26 billion, that is so much money. Like, I'm thinking about it right now. It says Sony, yeah, so it's basically recap on what we just read. Sony could end up owning Halo and Sonic adaptations. And it makes me wonder, because, like, think about it, right? Before Disney actually acquired Marvel, there were shows such as Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and there's another one. I can't remember which one it is. But anyways, that were on Netflix. And once they got acquired by Disney, those shows have actually made it over to Disney Plus. So it's making me wonder, right, if this does go through, would the rights to the TV shows go back to Microsoft and Sega, respectively, for Halo and Sonic? Or is Sony going to hold the rights to those TV shows? So far, any attempt to acquire Paramount has run into complications thanks to previous partnership with Skydance Media, who is currently working alongside Paramount to produce the next G.I. Joe and Star Trek film, as well as the live-action Rainbow Six adaptation. Wait a second. This is the first time I'm hearing about a live-action Rainbow Six adaptation. I thought Amazon was doing something about live action, Rainbow Six, but I didn't know it was going to be Skydance and potentially Paramount. According to an inside source, Skydance is currently discussing its own exclusive deals with Paramount, meaning that an official offer from Sony and Apollo to purchase the latter cannot be made at the moment. Well, why are we talking about this then? Sony and Apollo reportedly plans to acquire Paramount, impacting the live-action adaptation of some video game properties outside of PlayStation's umbrella. Which makes sense because, like, dude, when it comes to, like, intellectual properties and owning rights and all that stuff, it's very murky water, if that makes any amount of sense. It's a pain in the butt. Paramount currently owns the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog series, including the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie and Knuckles series, which if you guys haven't watched, I love the first Sonic movie, and Sonic 2 was pretty badass. More ironically, the ongoing Halo TV series would also be affected by the deal, but it's worth noting that such landmark acquisitions is still reportedly in the planning phases and could just well fall through with complexity in the future. Fall through completely. Oh my god. So yeah, I just think it's I think it's interesting that Sony is not just going after video game studios and that they're actually trying to acquire Hollywood studios to continue with the juggernaut that it is. After all, earlier this year they did acquire the full rights to Crunchyroll, and they combined them. Funimation and Crunchyroll. So that is completely owned by Sony. It's not like they own 50%, because as you dig into that deal where they combined Funimation and Crunchyroll finally, which went into effect April 1st, actually, that deal is kind of weird because the other partner that acquired the other part of Crunchyroll is actually owned by Sony. So are they trying to take over like more than just the video game market? Are they trying to just, buy up as many studios as they can? And if they acquire Paramount, that's probably one of the biggest acquisitions you can make because it's such a huge Hollywood studio. And think about it earlier, I think it was like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, Amazon acquired MGM Studios, which is actually kind of crazy to think about. So maybe Sony's making this play to acquire Paramount to prevent Amazon from potentially buying Paramount. We're going full screen. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Or do you, I don't know why Sony is going after so many of these other corporations to try to build their portfolio larger than what it already is. It's kind of mind-boggling that they would go after such a large studio such as Paramount, even if it is a joint venture with Apollo, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you guys, let me know down below. What's your thoughts? Don't forget to mash that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.